So in the world of supply chain these days, it's all about tech. Well, if you've seen some of the recent videos, it's about tech and people. Today, we're going to be talking to Sarah Barnes-Humphrey about the tech side of supply chain, and that's coming right up. So with me today is Sarah Barnes-Humphrey, and we're talking about tech in supply chain. So Sarah, what are your thoughts on the use of tech in supply chain? Maybe what are some of the essential components, and perhaps where do people get it wrong?
Wow, that is such a big question to unpack. I mean, there's so many different areas that we can obviously improve the processes. So I think to start, companies really need to take a look at what those processes are. I think data is very undervalued still. I mean, we talk about data a lot, and I still feel like it's undervalued. I was listening to something the other day that said data actually surpassed oil in value, I think, like 3 years ago. And so we really need to get on the data train. And then, of course, you've got all sorts of things like AI and robotics for the warehouse. And so there's so much untapped opportunity when it comes to technology that I think we really need to get down to what those processes that we need to change or make more efficient are, and then really take a look at what's out there. I think that, a lot of times we're not seeing what's out there that we can outsource to. And sometimes we want to keep a lot of that technology in-house. And I think that there's a lot of really creative, unique, innovative strategies that we can use that's out there on the market that we need to tap into and look a little bit further. I also think that not having somebody with a tech background on your supply chain teams is a mistake.
That's interesting, isn't it? We're so used now in our personal lives that we can get apps for everything. I mean, it's almost like that in business now. A friend of mine has been instrumental in developing, I hate this term Uberization, but, sort of a warehouse management system, like the Uber of warehouse management systems, where people can actually just kind of rent out their spare space on a short-term basis. And suddenly within 24 hours, they can be up and running as a warehouse with all their location systems and so on a very simple app. So I think the opportunities for tech in supply chain are just enormous. And I'm sure we're going to see massive changes over the next couple of years. But we still have people doing S&OP on spreadsheets. So,
yes, we do.
so is tech essential? Can we get by without it?
Well, I think we make a couple of mistakes when it comes to technology. One of those is that we're not meeting the customer where they are. And what I mean by that is we really need to take their processes as they are right now and move them into more efficient online technology-enabled, platforms or software or different things like that. Too many times we get too far ahead of them, and then the learning curve or the learning gap is really, really big. And sometimes it's just easier to go back to what we know. And so I really feel like we do need to meet our customers or the companies or the supply chain professionals where they're at right now and really listen to what they need and what they're looking for. And it might not be something that's just going to rock their world like we think that's what they need.
Okay, so if we were to look maybe for small to medium businesses and they're struggling with the tech side of their supply chain, if we were to look along the supply chain at various places where tech can assist, at the customer end, I'm always talking about cost to serve and understanding your cost to serve, and really people don't have enough grasp of that, and there are systems to help with that. Maybe on the sales and operations planning or demand planning. Maybe it's as basic as inventory management. I mean, if you had to put your finger on kind of one piece of tech in the supply chain, what do you think it would be that could offer the greatest value?
Well, I think that varies per business and what processes are costing them the most. In my world, because of, what I've done in my past, I take a look at logistics and how can we make it that much easier for small to medium-sized businesses to be able to move their shipments by air and ocean freight. That to me is critical, meeting them where they are, letting them do it a lot quicker, faster, easier, with more choice and less work to do.
In a nutshell, And maybe we can put a couple of links below to some further information, because I know you run a podcast and you also have a tech company. So it might be interesting for people to have a look at that. So Sarah Barnes-Humphrey, thank you for joining us and talking tech in supply chain.
Thanks, Rob, for having me.